Let us proceed to the next topic, the disbursements of barangay transactions.
Disbursements refer to all cash or check paid out during the period for settlement of government expenditures and payables. Let us now proceed to the next topic, the specific policies. Disbursements or disposition of government funds or property shall invariably bear the approval of the proper officials and should be supported with complete documentation. Next, disbursement shall be made only on duly certified and approved disbursement voucher, petty cash voucher, and payroll. It shall generally be made by checks drawn against the depository accounts of the barangay. Disbursements of cash shall be made only from cash advances granted for the purpose and petty cash, observing the following basic guidelines. All cash advances shall be liquidated at year-end. No additional cash advance shall be given to any official or employee unless the previous cash advance is liquidated and accounted in the books. A cash advance shall be liquidated or reported as soon as the purpose for which it was granted has been served. No cash advance shall be granted for the payment on account of infrastructure projects or other undertakings on a project basis, except for payment of labor payroll for projects undertaken by the administration.
Cash advances for special time-bound undertakings shall be liquidated by the accountable officer within a specified period. Next, cash advance which has no longer been needed or have not been used for a period of 2 months shall be returned to or deposited immediately with the proper collecting officer or a cashier. For designated disbursing officers, separate cash books shall be maintained for each type and purpose of cash advances. Petty cash fund record shall be maintained for petty cash funds. Let us now continue our discussion with the procedures. Payment by check. A. The barangay treasurer shall, upon the receipt of the disbursement voucher or payroll, be certified as to the availability of the appropriation or existing balances of the STF by the chairman of the Committee of Appropriation, shall certify as to the availability of funds and verify or review the completeness and propriety of the supporting documents. Next, he or she must forward the disbursement voucher or payroll to the punong barangay for approval. Next, he or she must prepare, sign, check, and forward the disbursement voucher and the supporting documents to the punong barangay for counter signatures. And last, he or she must submit copies to the city, municipal accountant, and the office of the auditor. The punong barangay shall approve the disbursement voucher after he has duly exclaimed and been satisfied that A. The disbursement vouchers are duly certified with proper barangay officials. B. The expenditure disbursements is legal, proper, and valid. C. The SDs are complete. Next, he or she must countersign the check and prepare and issue the PBC under oath to the depository bank for the checks issued by the barangay. The barangay treasurer shall record the disbursement transaction in the cash book, check, or the disbursement voucher number under the reference column and the amount of disbursement in the cash in bank include column. Next, the barangay treasurer shall release the check to the supplier or the company after issuance of official receipt and signing in the receipt portion of the disbursement voucher, and to the payees upon signing the receipt portion of the voucher.
The barangay treasurer shall record chronologically in the cash book all the checks issued and charged to deposits with the authorized government directory bank within 10 days after the end of the month. Next, with the submission of the Punong Barangay Certification or PBC to the authorized government depository bank, the Punong Barangay shall be primarily accountable for all the losses arising from this issuance. The following are the pro forma entries for the disbursements by check. A debit for asset or expense account, and a credit to due to BIR and cash in bank local currency current account or LCCA. Payment to cash advance for payroll. First, the cash advance for payroll shall be equal to the net amount of the payroll for a pay period. Next, payment shall be made directly to the named official and employee except when there is an authority to collect the claim due to the given another person under a power of attorney or other forms of authority. The cash advance for payroll shall be liquidated within 5 days after the end of the pay period. Any unexpected cash and or unreleased salaries and allowances shall be returned and an official receipt shall be issued. For subsequent cash advances, the disbursement voucher shall be supported with a certification from the accountant that previous cash advances has been liquidated and accounted for in the books. The amount of cash advance returned, acknowledged by an official receipt, shall be reported by the barangay treasurer in the RDC for the month and submitted to the city or municipal accountant for the recording in the JCT. The following are the pro forma entries to record the grant of cash advance for payroll. A debit to advances for payroll, and a credit to cash in bank account or the LCCA. The following are the pro forma entries to record the payments of salaries and honoraria to the officers and employees. A debit to salaries and wages, debit to honoraria, and a credit to advances for payroll and due to BIR. Let's now proceed to the third procedure, which is the payment to cash advances for travel. Letter A. The grant of cash advance for both local and foreign travel shall be governed by the provisions of the COA Circular Number 96-2004 dated April 19, 1996 and Executive Order Number 298 as amended. It shall be supported with legal documents and other proofs of the travel. Letter B. Liquidation shall be done within 30 days for local travel and 60 days for foreign travel. Upon return to the official station, liquidation of cash advances shall be Let's now proceed to the third procedure, which is the payment through cash advances for travel. Letter A. The grant of cash advance for both local and foreign travel shall be governed by the provisions of the COA Circular Number 96-2004 dated April 19, 1996 and Executive Order Number 298 as amended. It shall be supported with legal documents and other proofs of the travel. Letter B. Liquidation shall be done within 30 days for local travel and 60 days for foreign travel. Upon return to the official station, liquidation of cash advances shall be supported by documents as proof for liquidation. The fourth procedure, payment to cash advances for special purpose. A. Cash advances may be granted for special purpose or time-bound undertaking such as conduct of Barangay General Assembly, public hearing, and etc. Letter B. Cash advances for special purpose or time-bound undertaking shall be granted only to duly authorized accountable officers or special disbursing officers. Liquidation of cash advance shall be made upon the accomplishment of the purpose for which these were granted. Next, liquidation documents shall be summarized in the liquidation report, duly supported with disbursement documents such as authority for the purpose, list of participants or attendees, official receipt, and other relevant documents. And last, any unexpended balance of cash advances shall be returned and an official receipt shall be issued by the barangay treasurer. The liquidation report shall be submitted together with the appropriate supporting documents by the barangay treasurer, who shall submit the same to the city or municipal accountant. For the last procedure, petty cash. First, petty cash custodian or PCC may be authorized by the SB to hold a petty cash in an amount that is sufficient to cover the recurring expense of the barangay for 1 month, but not to exceed 20% of the funds available, and the credit of the barangay treasury provided that such amount shall be subject further to the bounding requirements of the accountable officers. Next, the petty cash shall be maintained under the impressed system, whereas a sum of money kept in hand is used for small expenditures and periodically will be replenished. The petty cash shall be kept separately from the regular collection and advances granted for a particular purpose. D. All disbursement out of petty cash shall be covered by duly approved and accomplished PCV supported by cash invoices, ORs, or other evidences of disbursement required under the applicable accounting and auditing rules and regulations. Next, the barangay treasurer or the petty cash custodian may be authorized to make direct purchase amounting not more than 1,000 pesos at any time for the ordinary and essential needs of the barangay. The petty cash shall be replenished when the total expense amount to at least 75% the petty cash or as needed. Replenishment shall be made by submitting a petty cash disbursement together with a petty cash voucher and supporting documents. G. The petty cash shall be fully liquidated whenever any accountable officer resigns or cease to be one. Any remaining funds shall be refunded to a closed account. And lastly, the balance of the petty cash shall be closed at the end of the year and it shall be renewed in the ensuing year using the current year's appropriations. Let us now proceed to the next topic, the inventories. The barangay treasurer shall act as the property officer of the barangay and shall be responsible for the receipt, custody, issuance, and physical inventories of barangay supplies and other inventories. Inventories are assets which, 1. In a form of materials or supplies to be consumed in the production process, 2. The form of materials or supplies to be consumed or distributed in the rendering services, 3. Held for sale or distribution in the ordinary course of operations, and lastly, in the process of production for sale or distributions. Last, inventories in the public sector may include ammunition, consumable stores, maintenance materials, spare parts for plants and equipment and other than those dealt with the standards of property plant equipment, strategic stockpiles such as energy reserves, stocks of unused currency, postal service supplies held for sale such as stamps, and last, work in process materials.